All right. Welcome to the Thursday, September 10th electronic meeting of the Ann Arbor Historic District Commission. This meeting is in accordance with the executive orders from the governor to affect social distancing and mitigate the spread of the COVID-19 virus. We intend to conduct this meeting similarly to an in-person meeting. However, please be patient if there are technical issues. Public comment will be via telephone only. To speak during any of the public comment opportunities, please call 213-338-8477 and enter meeting ID pound 983-9566 1077. This information is also available on the published agenda in the public notices section of the city website and on the broadcast of this meeting on CTN channel 16, AT&T channel 99, and online at www.a2gov.org/watchctn. Ms. Thatcher, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Rockland.
Here.
Commissioner Fortner.
Here.
Commissioner Quijano.
Here.
Commissioner Epperson.
Here.
Commissioner Beeson.
Here, although my video is not working.
Okay. Commissioner Hall.
Here.
Commissioner White is still trying to get in, but you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Thatcher. Approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda? Seeing none, hearing and seeing no objection, the agenda is approved as presented. Okay. Audience participation. This is an opportunity for persons to speak for up to 3 minutes about an issue that is not listed as a public hearing on this agenda. To comment on such other preservation matters, please call 213-338-8477 and enter meeting ID pound 983-9566 1077. This information is also displayed on the meeting agenda and video feed. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand one by one using the last 3 digits of your phone number. In order to electronically raise your hand to indicate your desire to speak, please press *9 on your phone. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sounds so we may hear you clearly. Please state your name and address at the beginning of your comments. Item E, unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. We'll now move to the hearings. F1 at 708 Moore Street. Ms. Thatcher, will you please give the staff report?
Certainly. Let me get into the PowerPoint here. All right, can you see that PowerPoint okay? I'm working on 2 screens, so I'm all confused. All right.
Yes, we are seeing it clearly.
Thank you. So 703 Moore Street is in the Broadway Historic District. Oh, man. Sorry, now I've got all this superfluous stuff on this screen. All right, I'm going to kind of wing it while I go through the slides, and then I'll go back to my staff report. Turns out I can't see both at once. This house was built, I think it was in 1917. It's got a pretty cool, unique front porch that was added later, kind of craftsman style, brick, with these very heavy pillars in the front. These aren't solid, they're like L-shaped sort of on the tops. And the house is clad in aluminum and vinyl siding, and the front door is not original, and none of the first floor windows are. I don't know about the upper floors. It has a single track, single width, a concrete driveway going into a carport that was a much later addition to the house. I don't know when, it's clearly not there on 1947 aerial photos. The homeowners own the property for a couple of years, and they'd like to, or maybe just a year, they'd like to tear off the non-original carport and put a two-car garage back here in the back. You can see that this is just 2 walls and a roof. Taking it off will not really harm the historic integrity of the house. They'll have to patch some siding up here, but it should be a pretty easy thing to remove. And the owner, one of the homeowners, kindly laid out a string where the garage footprint would go. No trees have to be removed. They've strategically placed it between this large tree, a large tree over in the middle of the backyard, and one off of the screen in the back corner of the garage to try to minimize the impact to the 3 different trees. And here's another shot of, that's one of the big trees, of where the strings are laid out here. It's a very spacious feeling backyard. This is a view from the street of the other side, I guess you'd call it south side of the house. And obviously you wouldn't see the garage from there at all. 1947 aerial photograph, just for fun. The house did not have a driveway, and it had 2 outbuildings in the back here, but who knows what they were? Workshop, shed, chicken coop, don't know. Okay, so this is the existing residence. This is the existing carport and cement driveway, concrete driveway. So they would flare out the concrete driveway. They laid it out to figure out how far back they could push this flare in order to still get a car out safely if there was a car parked over here and stuff, and be able to back it out and do that safely to get back out on the street in order to save green space over here, which I had requested that they do. So it's much appreciated that they redrew these to include that. They'll use the same opening at the street. Right now, this is gravel. They would pave it in concrete. The garage is 26 feet from the back of the house and 28 feet from the rear property line. It doesn't feel like there's 28 feet back there when you're standing there, but I believe the measurements. And here you can see that retaining wall that shows up in some of the photos. This one's not quite to scale, but it just shows a layout, couple of new trees because they'll have to take out some bushes and maybe a spruce tree back here. And there's also a rain garden that's required to mitigate the new impervious surface that they'll be installing. Here's the garage floor plan, simple, 22 by 24. Front elevation, super straightforward. Steel roll-up doors, a couple of lamps. I'm not picky about what those look like as long as they're not bigger than that. Pitch of the roof is indicated. The window, one single window is it, and 1 person door. The window would be vinyl, match the ones that are on the first floor of the house. Person door would be steel. 4-inch lap vinyl siding to match what's on the house, and asphalt shingles. So really simple. I don't have elevation drawings of the other 2 elevations, but it would just be this without any doors and this without a window or a door. So just mirror images. There's a cross section and some more photos that were provided by the applicant. The back corner would be somewhere in here. This is the approximate area where the garage would be. View from the way back, looking forward toward the street. And that's a good shot from the street showing the gravel apron that's there right now. Secretary of Interior standards numbers 2 and 9, most apply. 2 says the historic character of a property will be retained and preserved. The removal of distinctive materials or alteration of features, spaces, and spatial relationships that characterize a property will be avoided. And number 9 says that new additions, exterior alterations, or related new construction shall not destroy historic materials that characterize the property. New work shall be differentiated from the old, shall be compatible with the massing, size, scale, and architectural features to protect the historic integrity of the property and its environment. Number 10 says that new additions and adjacent or related new construction will be undertaken in such a manner that if removed in the future, the essential form and integrity of the historic property will be unimpaired. From the Secretary of the Interior's guidelines for building site, recommended is designing designing adjacent new construction which is compatible with the historic character of the site, which preserves the relationship between a building or buildings, landscape features, and open space. From the Ann Arbor Historic District design guidelines for new construction, same thing repeated. It's appropriate to preserve the relationships on the site. From the Secretary of Interior guidelines for building site, not recommended is introducing new construction that's visually incompatible, or removing or radically changing buildings or their features or site features, which are important in defining the overall historic character of the building site. And from the design guidelines for district or neighborhood setting, not recommended introducing new construction that's visually incompatible. From the Ann Arbor Historic District design guidelines, it's appropriate for accessory structures, which is what this garage would be, to locate sheds and garages in the rear yard, and to use wall and roof materials that are compatible with the historic materials on the main structure and in the neighborhood, and using windows and doors that are compatible in proportion and style to the main structure in the neighborhood. Okay, these have all been covered. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and go back to my staff report. Okay, this is a big lot. It's 66 by 133. It certainly is large enough to contain a two-car garage without encroaching on anybody or anything. Yeah, you know, really, staff just recommends approval of this application. It's situated in the right part of the lot. It's large, but not too large. It doesn't encroach on any of the neighboring structures. The structure right next door to the left or to the north is not a historic structure. It's not even in the historic district, I don't believe. And really, staff believes that this meets the guidelines for new construction and for residential accessory structures. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. The Commissioners Epperson and Keano were on the review committee. Will you please give us your report and recommendations?
Sure. Don't have too much more to add to staff report. It was pretty thorough. I guess I just would emphasize the depth and the open feeling of the property. And, you know, walking around in the back rear yard definitely feels like there's plenty of space for to put a structure there and still have open yard. The adjacent property that Jill was just describing, that's not in the historic district, you might have caught it in one of the photos, the grade change there for their driveway, which is adjacent to the property line for this applicant is, oh, Anna, how many feet would you say up?
At least 6 or more.
Yeah, we ran up there and, you know, you'd probably be almost eye level or above the roof maybe of the structure. So I don't think in terms of impeding any visuals from the neighbor be much.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I have to add.
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Thatcher's report and Commissioner Quijano. It's, as she stated, that the lot is fairly large. The garage is going to sit pretty far back. The lot does, as Commissioner Quijano indicated, it's a little bit, it's lower than the adjacent lot, but it also slopes slightly back away from the street. It does indicate in the application that the driveway will be draining toward the street. So the applicant did indicate that the structure will be filled, it'll be filled in, the grade will be filled in a little bit underneath the garage to sort of help that drain back towards. So it'll sit up slightly higher, but still not much. I think it'll be pretty much level with the street or a little bit around there. the flare of the driveway, just kind of looking back at the house photos, it starts roughly about, I think in the drawings it showed somewhat around near where the existing carport is, and there's a little one-story portion of the house that extends back behind that. So it's roughly around, you know, behind the second story portion. That was something I was a little bit, you know, hesitant on about increasing the width of the driveway, but again, it sits so far back from the main portion of the house. And then some of the adjacent houses have, and there's one to the south, I think what we determined the opposite side of this garage that has an addition in the back. But I think it sits in the appropriate portion of the yard for the site. That's all.
Okay. Will the applicant please unmute your microphone and provide your name and address for the record? Do you have anything to add to the staff report or review committee report?
Hi, yeah, it's Brian Oxender and Bethany Oxender. Just wanted to say thank you for considering our application. And no, I don't have anything to add. I think yeah, that covered everything. Yeah.
Great. Commissioners, do we have any questions for the applicant? I'm not seeing any commissioners with questions, so we'll move on to the, and now I'd like to open the public hearing for this item. This is an opportunity for persons to speak for up to 3 minutes about this application at 708 Moore Street. Public comment may be made by calling 213-338-8477 and then entering meeting ID pound 983-956-1077. In order to electronically raise your hand after dialing into the meeting, please press *9 on your phone. Kristen, do we have any public?
No callers have indicated.
Okay. So then, commissioners, do we have any additional questions? I'm seeing none. I will now close the public hearing portion of the application. Would any commissioners like to make a motion on this application? Commissioner Rockland is raising his hand.
Okay. I move that the commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for the portion of the application at 703 Moore Street. For the portion, why does it say for the portion of the application at 703 Moore Street? I'll continue. We might have to strike that. Okay. A contributing property in the Broadway Historic District to remove a carport and construct a two-car garage as proposed. The work is compatible in exterior design, arrangement, materials, and relationship to the house and surrounding area and meets the Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation and guidelines for rehabilitating historic buildings, in particular standards 2, 9, and 10, and the guidelines for building site, as well as the Ann Arbor Historic District design guidelines, particularly as they pertain to residential accessory structures.
Support.
Okay, so that was moved by Commissioner Rockland and seconded by Commissioner Quijano. Is there any discussion on the motion? I'm seeing and hearing. No, oh,
Evan?
Commissioner Rockland, sorry. Yep.
I just want to be clear. The motion, I said for the portion of the application. I think there isn't like a separate portion of this application we're discussing. It's the whole application. So you can just scratch the part of the motion where I said for the portion, just the appropriateness of the application, just to be clear.
Perfect, very clear. That's been dealt with here. All right, so if there's any other further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say yes.
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 Okay, Commissioner White. All those opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion carries. Your application has been approved and you will receive a written notice from staff. Please note that you must apply for any required permits from the city before beginning your project. Okay. We'll now move on to agenda item G, new business. Is there any new business? Thatcher's saying no. Okay. Agenda item H. Are there any? This is the minutes from August 13th. Are there any additions, deletions, or amendments to the minutes?
Were they available?
I didn't see them, but I checked
did-
it several days ago.
Yeah, I didn't.
see them
It was
either.
earlier today. I
Okay.
checked, but not.
Yeah,
It's been
the
a few
link
hours.
doesn't, there's not a link to the minutes.
Right.
You're correct. There's no link. So let's just skip that and we'll put it on next month's agenda.
Yeah, we're going to skip H. All right. So I, reports from commissioners. Would any commissioner like to share something with the commission? Okay, I'm not seeing any there. Okay. Let's see. J1, review committee. Review committee will be on Monday, October 5th, 2020 at a time mutually agreed upon for the October 8th, 2020 regular meeting. Do we have any volunteers?
At 5 o'clock on the agenda, but we can do a different time. So whatever is convenient for whoever goes first to volunteer.
Do noon. I can go at noon.
I can probably do it. I was just checking.
I can do it
Okay.
5 or later.
Okay, Anna and Kathy, is that right? Okay, thanks.
Okay,
So we'll say that's
Anna
5 o'clock.
and Kathy. Okay, thank you, commissioners. K1, agenda item, reports from staff. Ms. Thatcher, are there any noteworthy items on this month's activities report?
No, August was a busy month, but there wasn't anything too wacky on there unless any of you have a question about particular lines.
Was that posted as well? I didn't.
Yeah,
Like I said,
it
I
looks
checked a few
like.
days ago. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
The only thing I saw was, oh, my, didn't
Yeah, there
scroll.
was a one item.
Yeah, I only saw one at first.
Oh, gosh.
No, but it's multiple pages.
Yeah, there's,
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
Very busy roof replacement.
yes, yes. Lots of roofs.
Yeah, I was on vacation that month and it puts the different people who sign off on these on different pages usually. That's probably what happened. Yeah, first page was Alexis, second page was Jeff. Yeah.
2-story rear addition.
What's the number?
One.
HGC 2115.
There's a little note that says
Oh wait,
staff
is that
and
something we've
officers.
looked at already?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, West
something you
Washington.
approved.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, final drawings. Okay. That's probably. Oh, I will
Okay, look-
say, sorry, this is probably should have been a report item, not that I was reminded going through this. I did notice driving past Burnt Toast Inn that they put the screen wall up
Hmm.
in front of that
They're
generator.
screening it incrementally. They're still working on the landscape and promise me that they'll do it.
Okay. Caught my eye.
and I guess the mural's up on the back of Potbellies
Yeah.
that we.
Oh, I saw something. Yeah, and I'm live about that, but I haven't been by to see it in person. Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's see. We're going to move on to agenda item L, concerns of commissioners. Are there any concerns from any of the commissioners?
I'm going to be in quarantine for a while.
I hope you're all right, Bob.
Not seeing
No, I'm
any.
okay.
Okay.
I'm waiting until there's a
Jen-
vaccine.
Okay, Bob's got a concern. Sorry.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
There's no
So
concern.
we won't ask you to be on the review committee for a while.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll move to agenda item M1, communications. There are no communications to the HDC this month. All right, and then we'll move on to N, adjournment. And now close the September 10th, 2020 HDC meeting for the city of Ann Arbor. I don't
It's a
have
new
good
record.
That was
Thanks, everyone.
pretty good.
And for the record,
7:28
outstanding.
is what I have.
Hey.
shortest
Hey.
one on